I'm Brian Tucker. I'm a faculty member at Pasadena City College and director of the campus art galleries. I'm standing in the Boone Family Art Gallery. Once a year at PCC, we invite a distinguished art professional, typically a curator or an art critic, to come to campus and select a show of student work. In this case, we had about 350 submissions from students, and our juror, Bernard Cooper, selected about 60 pieces for the ultimate show. The students pay a small fee when they submit work, and that money creates a pool that is then distributed to a few students who are given awards by our juror. In this case, our juror, Bernard Cooper, gave 8 awards. Bernard Cooper, by the way, is a well-known author, a visual artist, and was for several years art critic for Los Angeles Magazine. I have one of those award-winning students with me now, Gina Fernandez. Congratulations to you, Gina.
Thank you.
You have 3 pieces in the show. You got an award for one, but you actually
thank you.
have 3 pieces included. Am I correct on that?
Yep, 2 photographs and 1 sculpture.
So do you want to talk maybe particularly about the piece that was singled out for an award?
Okay, that one is called Expired, and it's a parking meter and a pair of old shoes. And I just stumbled upon it, and I was with a friend who was real comfortable in the area we were in, and I kind of wasn't. So when I walked past this, I've given myself permission to jump on inspiration when I see it. So she walked ahead, and I just took out my camera and started shooting up the scene. I felt a little voyeuristic because, you know, it's just stuff that was around, and I'm not really part of that neighborhood. So I took the pictures and went home, and as I'm there, I said, I should have taken those shoes. And my friend goes, why? You're the only person that ever saw something in that. And I went, all right. So I got home, laid it out, worked on it a bit, and then couldn't figure out what to print it on. So I printed it on metal because it was kind of the urban feel, and I wanted to see the reflection, kind of to put it back on me of what I was looking at. When it was returned to me on metal, it was getting there. But I'm also a sculptor, so I thought it needed a 3rd dimension. So one of my neighbors, he has a lot of guns and is in that industry, and so I put tape where I wanted it, and he shot it with his guns on the front, and then I had tape on the back, and he shot it from the back. Then when I hung it up, I went, that's how I felt when I was there. So that's how that piece came along.
So how long have you been coming to PCC, Gina?
That's a long time. I had photography classes back in the 80s with Linda Hoover, and took all the photography classes I had before digital was even invented, and loved it, but didn't want to pursue it as a career. Went into interior design, got an AA degree in that, and then came back for my art. And I've been trying to take as many classes as my schedule will allow. So. And
what's your goal? What's your next step after PCC?
I just came to learn and keep busy, and then all of a sudden, I think fine art. I would just love it. Right now, I'm really immersed in ceramics. I mean, I'm really taking all the ceramics classes. None of my pieces in here are ceramics, but those are the classes I'm taking now.
So do you have any thoughts about the show as a whole? You have been here a couple times in the past, so this is probably not the first one of these shows that you've seen.
This is one of the most cohesive shows, I think. Coming from a curator, critic perspective, I think for this one, he saw all the work, he said, all at once, and the show came to him, which to me is kind of how I work. I look at something, and then the idea sort of builds itself. So when I walked in here, I felt at home. It was sort of, you could see it sectioned off, but then all the sections make sense, almost like a little city of art.
So do you have advice for other students who are considering submitting work in the future when we have these juried shows?
You know, it's a safe place to take a risk. I mean, you're not submitting it to some unknown gallery in New York or sending it on a plane. You can actually test drive your feelings about what it's like to put your work out there. And I've never submitted anything except for here 4 years ago, and it was just a risk, and it kind of took, and then I started like, well, maybe somebody else might want to see it. So I would say do it. I mean, if you don't get in, try again, and your work will just keep getting better every time you try. as long as you keep making work.
Good advice. Thank
Thanks.
you, Gina. Congratulations
Thank
once
you.
again.
Thank you.
And I'm Brian Tucker. We're at the Boone Family Art Gallery at Pasadena City College. Thank you for your interest.